Manchester City 3, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. Why does it sound familiar hearing that 3-0 scoreline? It's because we always actually do it. I joked in the last video that people always mock Foden for no one getting on when we're 3-0 up, as in that's some kind of stick to beat Man City with. It's just that we're always 3-0 up, and once again it happened, we were 3-0 up and Foden came on. But that was a sensational performance. It's worth bearing in mind that no team had beaten Shakhtar, no English team had beaten Shakhtar away before in the Champions League. And we struggled up today. We absolutely dominated them from the first moment to the last. This carried on from when the Burnley game with plenty of changes, shall it be said, but we were absolutely fantastic from the first minute to the last. We went to Shakhtar, a team that are genuinely tricky in Europe, and we just showed them no mercy. It was a complete away performance in a very tricky, very cold place, and I thought we were sensational. Pep will be absolutely delighted, and the thing that encouraged me was the fact that we played that game, we played so well without Bernardo Silva starting, without Sane starting, without Sergio Aguero starting. We showed the strength in depth that we had in this team. Otamendi came in for his first start for a while, and I thought despite a couple of kind of slightly rash, but understandably rash touches given his lack of match practice, he was largely excellent. He slotted in seamlessly. John Stones, once again at right back, was pretty good. You know, he's pretty good at this role. He's a fantastic footballer, John Stones. And he seems to be growing into his own skin with every passing week, growing into this maturity, this kind of comfortableness in football. Eventually, when he's so good at something, you get it to the point where it becomes second nature. And I feel with Stones now, he's getting to the point where he's starting to believe in his own ability and believe in the method and just go out there and play his game regardless of where he's playing. Okay, he didn't have loads going forward, but in terms of a pure defensive display, it was almost perfect from Stones. So good, so comfortable in a position he shouldn't have been familiar with. Mendy as well on the other side, defensively solid, got forward as well, as he always does. Laporte, what more can be said about this guy? He's just a rock, isn't he? I saw a great tweet from Mac MCFE1894 on Twitter saying Laporte could have defended Titanic against the iceberg, and at the moment that the form he's in, he probably could stop that single-handedly. He's in such good form, he's imperious, and he's playing with a confidence that just seems to exude through the team, and he scored another goal with a beautifully little kind of looped header thing from a KDB corner. And De Bruyne back with his first start, and he wasn't even the main talking point. He wasn't fantastic, but he was definitely good. He looked like he'd never been away, put it that way. And what was telling for me is that even when he was a little bit tired, we brought on Bernardo Silva and he scored a wonderful goal within 90 seconds. We are so blessed. I just burst out laughing when that goal went in, because by that we can take off De Bruyne, rest Bernardo Silva, Bernardo can come on and just do that. It shows that what levels we're on at the moment. It's just ridiculous. Now, in terms of criticism, yeah, we were very wasteful at times in front of a goal. That's just what this team can be like sometimes. I think if Aguero played, maybe we would have scored one or two more. Sterling did have one of those days in front of goal, and Mahrez couldn't quite put the finishing touch to a lot of his good play. But it happens some days. I'm not overly concerned. I think when it matters, we will kind of turn up. Gabriel Jesus, on that subject, I saw a lot of people giving him a stick on Twitter and online. What I will say for him is I think he's got an almost impossible task being the second striker to Aguero. I've seen a theory go around the internet recently that in general, life as a second striker behind Aguero is really difficult because he's the undisputed number one, rightfully so, given his stature in world football, given his ability. But for him, it's very difficult to get the game times that he actually needs to get his confidence back, to become that main man that he was when he joined. You think about back to when Gabriel Jesus first joined Manchester City, he came off the back of an incredible season for Palmeiras, the best player over the Brazilian league. He was winning awards, all that kind of stuff. He had an emotional time there, and he was the main man there. He was the wonder kid, and he was full of confidence. And he came here, and he looked sensational when he first joined. This confident, flamboyant Brazilian wonder kid with loads of grab, pace, skill, energy, and just great link-up play with Sane and Sterling. And now he's kind of settled into the second best routine, which happens to a lot of strikers. Dzeko, it happened to him. He was nowhere near as clinical during his time at Manchester City as he is at Roma, for example. And I think it's kind of understandable why. It's so hard to not lose your confidence a little bit when you're just the backup man. I don't deny his effort, and I think in general he works really hard, but he hasn't got that clinical killer nature at the moment. I think he's a good player, though. He just needs a little bit of time. He's only 21 still. He's only young. He's a willing runner. He just seems to have lost a bit of confidence in front of goal. Fingers crossed it will come for him. Mahrez, on the other hand, I mean, he looks more and more confident with every game. Yes, not everything he did today not everything he tried today came off even, but what I like about Mahrez is something always happens with around Mahrez. I like the fact that he's one of those players, even if he's on the pitch for 5 minutes, he'll somehow get a shot away. He does put defenders on the back foot because he's so willing to take a shot or dribble across the ball, and that makes things happen. Even if it doesn't always come off, he terrorises defenders. And the same can be said for Sterling. He was running at the defence all night. He had one of those days in front of goal, but his energy, his liveliness, it was fantastic, and I can't really call that. And David Silva as well, I can't not mention the maestro. He's such a fantastic footballer. He seems to defy age and physics and and whatever, and God knows, biology, by getting younger every single week despite looking older every single week. He's a fantastic footballer, and we are lucky to have him. And once again tonight, when we needed a big moment, he stepped up and broke the deadlock. Fantastic footballer and a fantastic team. We are doing so well at the moment, and we are blessed to be watching this Manchester City team. I think sometimes we don't quite realise that. And it was nice as well to see Foden come on for the last few minutes. Looked like that lively bundle of energy he was at the weekend as well. He looks very sprightly so far this season. It's good to see. Anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts there. Don't forget as well, if you haven't already, go and subscribe to my new personal channel where I talk about life and shit and all that kind of stuff, because it's a good chat over there. Anyway, have a good evening, because that was good fun. In a bit.